I kind of got into the reining just because of my family. I mean, my whole family's into it. I got into it and started riding when I was like 3 or 4. You know, I just kind of grew up with it. We've always had horses on the farm and stuff. And then I fell in love with it. You know, I enjoy the reining horses. I like how athletic they are. I like how their brains work. So it's been my whole life. You know, as a young boy, I always thought about and dreamed about being very successful and watched the older guys ahead of me go be successful. But I never dreamed I'd be as successful as I am to this point. You know, you always hope that you do really well. But I think to get to this point, a lot of things had to happen. You know, I had to have the right people around me, had to have the right horses around me, had to have the right owners, you know, the sponsors, everybody. So for all that to line up, the stars lined up just right. You know, I've had lots of highlights in my career. Probably winning the first futurity in 2002. You know, it was like getting a monkey off my back. That was something I always wanted to do, and being able to do that. Another highlight is being able to watch my son go show. That's pretty emotional. Getting inducted into the NRHA Hall of Fame is a big honor. You know, what makes it an honor, of course, being able to get there, do the things, accomplish the things that they needed just to accomplish to get into it. But the predecessors are already in there, my peers and stuff. There's some great horse trainers, some great people in there. So it was an honor for myself to get in there and be amongst those people. You know, the Ice Vibe boots is probably what I like the most, as far as you get the Ice Vibe knee boots. And for a reining horse, when they turn around, they bump their knees a lot. So to ice those knees back down is really, really helpful. Also the Ice Vibe hock boots, because those reining horses, they stop so hard and they're hard on their hocks. So anytime that you can go work your horses and bring them back in, put them boots on and ice them hocks and their knees down, it is very, very well. You know, each horse does have its own personality. And as a horseman and as a horse trainer, it's important for you to be able to recognize that horse's personality and try to match up with it or figure it out. You know, I've been pretty fortunate. I've been able to do that with most of my good horses. Most horses that are really, really good have a unique personality. I have had a favorite horse as far as the Wimpy's Little Chick Mare was awesome, but Gonna Trash It was special. So there's probably 5 or 6. I'd hate to say just one, but there's been 5 or 6. It was just unbelievable. This year, you know, I got some great young horses. You know, they're showing a lot of promise. And I think they're going to be okay, but there's no way to know until they go show and they really do it. But I'm very excited about them. I do have other goals, and then also just to continue to be successful and continue to be a good horseman. You know, keep learning my profession, keep learning my craft, become better at it. And then also, I'd like to see all my children go be successful. You know, if I was talking to some young people, and including my son, I tell them to practice. You know, practice a lot, practice often, and think about what they're doing. Don't just go out there and just ride. Think about how you're going to do stuff when you show and you're going to get ready. So that's, practice is the most important. You know, make sure that you have your plan, you follow your plan out, and go do that. I was getting ready to go show a horse in reining fraternity in the finals, and a good friend of mine walked by and told me, don't deviate from what you've done. You know how you got there, so stay with that. So I think that's pretty cool. And then, you know, the other thing, I've been fortunate enough, Wimpy's Little Chick was getting ready to go win the Triple Crown at the NRHA Derby. And shoot, we must have got 100 emails. And I told Michelle, I said, don't show me those accounts. I'd be so nervous. But the amount of support of the people that was behind that mare and myself at that time was really, really cool. But the amount of pressure going into that was really, really big also. But it all worked out.